went ahead and, cooked food, cleaned the house. You know what I mean? At least typical housewife of that era. I don't know about now. Women couldn't cook you a hot pocket if they wanted to. But she's a great cook. But I saw her work, her magic, and she was great. And the way that she created things, and she would have this going, and she'd have this going, and she'd have this going, and she'd be doing this, and she'd be talking to me, and then we'd have a great time. And I'm telling you that programming, once women understand it, is more naturally in tune for them than it is for us. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure the guy whoever decided to create programming languages in general, that'll be my little history lesson. The guy whoever decided to create programming or computer science is probably inspired by watching women. Wouldn't be surprised by that. Wouldn't be surprised. So let's run this. Boom! Look at that. And look at all these cool colors. And then pick these annoying colors that would pierce your soul. But yeah, look at that. It's beautiful. And remember, the last stroke that we had is now kind of taking effect on the bottom ones. If you look from here to here, you actually see the difference. Look at the stroke on the point, and then go into the rectangle. They're both yellow. Look at that. All right. You can't change the stroke of the rectangle, the ellipse, the triangle. You can't change the stroke of it by just adding it in there. But we'll just leave it right now because you start to understand what I mentioned, or I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but you start to understand algorithms. Algorithms is a step-by-step process. You gotta, if you get this book and you read it, it's a nice little quick one-page read about algorithms, but it's important that you understand algorithms because you see, now you have to start understanding how a computer thinks, the step-by-step process. If we go over here, what am I doing first? Okay, whatever I get, it's going to have the stroke weight of 10. All right, and the stroke color is going to be that. Oh, and it's a point. Cool. All right, and everything stays the same. Oh, wait, we got to change the stroke weight again to nothing. All right, fill it up. Do this and that. And so it just runs its process. So we covered colors. Now we're going to cover transparency. This is interesting, all right? And with this one, I'm only going to use rectangles. So we're going to say goodbye to this one right now. See you later. Take care. All right? Let's compile that, make sure. And remember, if you don't write anything in there, that's what you get. You get 100 by 100. That's all you get. Make this bigger. That's all you get. Yeah, let's say it. So that's what you get. It's 100 by 100, but we're not going to be that cool. We're not one of the cool kids. We're just going to size. I'm going to make this a little bigger, 400 by 400. Transparency is cool. I'm letting you know this right now. It's really cool. I love transparency because when you see the transparency, you actually start to understand. Oh, I've seen this before. Oh, that's okay. Oh, I've seen that before, and that's what you want to get at. As you're doing this, you start having the, oh, yeah, that's why I saw it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, you know what? I'm going to keep with the white background. Okay. Because you'll see the transparency a lot better. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and set up my third draw. And we're going to go ahead and do 2 rectangles. All right. They're going to overlap each other. And then I'm going to show you in those rectangles, what happens if we don't use transparency, what happens when we do use transparency. So on the first rectangle, I'm going to use a fill. This is a red. This is a very nice red. Like I said, I'm not going to pick the crazy colors. Remember, red, green, blue. I have no values for the green and blue. It's just predominantly red. Guess what? It's going to be red. Just trust me on that. So rectangle, I'm going to have this one sit in the, it's going to be in the middle of the screen, but in the left quadrant, more in the left quadrant. So I'm going to say 100, okay? 200 is going to be my Y value. And then I'm going to have this 100 by 100. And let's just see what this looks like for right now. Bam. Actually, let me, yeah, that'll be good. That'll be good right now. Then I'm going to have another one, okay? I'm going to change the fill again. I'm going to go ahead and make this blue, all right? Let's go a nice, comfortable blue. Remember, it doesn't have to scream into the universe like, please save me. Don't need that, all right? This one is just going to overlap a little bit. It's going to be 125, all right? 200, 100, 100. Actually, it's going to probably overlap a lot, but let's run that. Bam, look at that. That red is gone now. We have that blue has just went ahead and almost eclipsed that red rectangle. Actually, almost eclipsed the whole thing. What the hell is transparency got to do with this? I'll show you. There is a fourth value. Whenever you're using color, there's a fourth value that has to do with transparency. What happens if I do a transparency 0? What happens? Bam. That thing's like practically invisible. It's completely transparent. So the lower the number, completely transparent. The higher the number, no, it's there. So, what do you think I want transparent? I want this blue to be transparent. So I'm going to leave this alone. I'm not going to put a value. You don't put a value, there's no transparency. So let's make this one transparent. And remember, it uses the same values, 0 to 255. All right? So I'm going to go right in the middle, say 127, 128, and bam. Look at that. Look at that. Red and blue make what? Purple. And that's because I allowed that transparency. I allowed that transparency to go through. And you can be like, hey, Pierre, man, how do you know if this is not no visual gimmick? I'm like, okay, well, I'll show you. We'll make this rectangle a little bit bigger, and you'll see that it'll still be blue until you get right here in this area because of the transparency. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll make this a little bit bigger, not on the width, but on the height. I'll say this is 300. Wow, look at that. Now you see. Now you see. Actually, this is like way out of the screen. There we go. There. Now you see. You see? Right there. That's what's going on. Okay. Cover transparency. Let's go to custom color ranges. All right. And we really don't have to go too much into custom color ranges because guess what? I've been showing you the color selector tool. That's where you get the custom color ranges at. All that right there. I want to do a different color. I want this and that. I want, I want this much transparency, all that other type of stuff. If you want, and you do get this book, do the exercise at the end. They tell you to create a creature with the stuff that you learned, right? I showed you stroke. I also didn't mention some other modes that they have. There's a thing called rec mode, ellipse mode, that what it pretty much does is that it tells you how do you want to align your shape, okay? Do you want the X and Y to start from the center of the shape? Do you want to start it from the upper corner of the shape? Do you want it to be the radius of the shape? You know what I mean? So let's see what happens if we did radius, and you have to do it in all caps, and because it starts getting in the nice little blue color. And we do that, we do radius, look at that. Bam. Rec mode, radius, and you see how it's now shifted a little bit. So, yeah, that is chapter 1, pretty much of this book. We've covered pixels, we've covered colors, we've covered some shapes, and if there's any questions, go to codetemplar.com. All the information should be on the video. If you didn't watch it on the site, you're watching this from YouTube, you can go to my website, like my webpage, talk trash, you know what I mean, all that type of good stuff. And yeah, again, thank you so much, and thank you for listening.